Welcome back to Dubsy Bricks for another Gotham City update, and it's haul time. We've had an order come in here from lego.com, an order I placed before Christmas, and a lot of the parts in here are for my Tantive build. However, there are a lot of pieces also for Gotham City. You can see lots of the lime green pieces in here. That's for the signage of the Joker Funhouse, and there's a mixture of purple pieces as well, and that's for my Joker car that I'll be making in the very near future. There are also some of the cylinders here in tan, and they're for the subway, but mainly it's window pieces for the Flatiron-esque building. So fingers crossed we have finally got enough window pieces to get that all finished off. But at least now we've got plenty of pieces here that we can do a lot more work on Gotham City. And the first thing we're going to be tackling in this update is the Joker's Funhouse sign. Now the Lego order has come in, so hopefully I've ordered the right parts. We'll be able to change the light tan colour here for lime green. And there it is, the Joker Funhouse sign is now in lime green, matching the roller coaster itself. And it just gives it so much more colour, and really happy with how that has come out. It's the pop colours there, but it's not over the top, so it does still keep the nice Gotham-like feel to the build. And once I've got the nutcrackers outside here, I think that's going to finish that off perfectly. Now there are still so many more details I've got to do to this entire building. I need to finish off the front section just here. Got to do the roof, and there will be a lot of details on the roof, like a water tower and a few other bits and pieces. There have been some fantastic comments in the videos of late, especially with ideas for things inside the Joker Funhouse. And one of the things that somebody has suggested, inside here I have a maze of mirrors, and I do think that'd be really cool. So I just need to work out whether or not it is something I can fit in there and get hold of plenty of those mirror pieces. I know there were some in the assembly square set, which I have got a couple of those, but obviously I'm going to need a lot more to do a maze. And another thing I need to work out is how I'm going to have the actual roller coaster carriages that'll be going around here, what design I want on that. And I'm thinking purple will be the best colour, as that's the other obviously colour of the Joker. Now one other thing I am thinking about for the roof section is to have a playing card which faces out to sea. I think that brings some more colour in from that side, which I think would be much needed. But yeah, let's move this back over to the city and let's start on something else. And the next section I want to turn my attention back to is the raised train line, and particularly the supports just here. Now, a few people have been questioning whether or not this is strong enough to take the train. Imagining by the vibrations of a train going around, will this stay up? And this section here is perfectly strong enough. I'm really confident that's going to stay exactly where it is, even with a train rumbling over the top of it. I will be replacing these 2x4 plates that were between the pre-moulded parts there, and having a plate that goes across from side to side. I think that will help with the strength of that. But on this section over here, there are just a couple of studs which are keeping it all in place, so it does need some work on that particular part. So that's what we're going to turn our attention to next. Just going to have a think about how I'm going to do it. I'm contemplating putting one big plate in here at an angle, which is just resting on tiles, and hopefully that will do the trick. But what I need to do is work out how I do the same on that side there. And in typical Dubsy Brick style, we've made a mess here, destroying something that we previously built. But again, hopefully it is for the best. So I've tiled it off, as I mentioned previously, so I can now build some plates onto this. And I'm hoping that everything works out square along here, so I can build the train track going along there, and it'll be all nice and sturdy. So on one side, I've got a plate which is just 4 studs in width, and that will just rest up against the wedge plates on that side. And on the opposite side, it's a much bigger plate. And the reason I've gone for it being larger is I thought it'd be good to have some sort of building along here. I just think it's going to work out a little bit better. And again, I've gone for dark bluish grey on the very bottom here. So it's almost like the water is making the brickwork wet and changing the colour of it. So that again will just sit there. Now, hopefully it will all work out well. And just made a couple of temporary bits up here. So when I clip it all together, it should work absolutely perfectly. And then again, there will be another one down this end, and that will go like so. So now I know that I can put both supports on here, and they are going to be fully connected to the base. Now the good thing as well is I can actually put some hinge pieces underneath this row of plates here, and that will keep these both in place. So I'll put some along this edge and some along there. And now I'm confident that when the train comes around this corner and goes off at an angle to the raised platform, we're not going to have any problems of it collapsing or breaking or anything like that. So all I need to do now is just tidy up all the mess that we've made here, fill in all of the gaps that were there previously. Then I can start working out what finishing effect I want to have along the edge of the water. And then I can put the pillars back in place and the train track back along the top of it. And I'm really pleased with how that's come out. It's so nice having this all ready for the final details, whatever they may be, ready to go. And this technique has worked out spot on. There's no gap at all around this plate area just here. And the plate, because it's attached in a couple of areas, and also the gravity and the weight of everything on there, this track is really solid, so it's not going anywhere. I'm confident that we can whiz a train around there as fast as we like, and it's going to stay in one piece. I do need to work out what I'm going to do here, whether or not put another support structure in. There is going to be a support right on the edge of the raised platform there, but what I might do is put another one of these single ones in the middle of it. Due to the water being there, I can't put two in at the angle. It'll be just too difficult to get it all lined up stud wise. So I think a single, or just scrapping it all together and just putting the support right on the edge there, is the way forward. I did have a few problems earlier on in this section here. The plates were just a fraction of a plate apart, and I was really struggling to manipulate them and get them all nicely together so I could tile from one to the other, and ended up having to go around that side of the table, and it was just one of the mills plates was a fraction out, which led to the next one, and yeah, just took a little bit to get that all sorted, but we got there eventually. But it's really nice seeing this all come together shape wise, and I can't wait to just get this tiled off and put more deep buildings in here. And this section here, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to put here. This isn't really a theme park. This is more of a, in my Gotham, this is more of a warehouse that the Joker has taken over and made his own, and he stuck his roller coaster in there just for a bit of fun. But I do want to have something more in this area, so yeah, we'll just need to work out what that's going to be. With the Flatiron-esque building over there, obviously we've got the windows now, which is good. However, I haven't managed to get the gold pieces which are going above there. Hopefully I'll get to go to the Lego store in the next week or two, and we'll be able to pick some more of those up so I can get that build all finished off, which would be nice. But still haven't worked out what I'm going to be doing with the roof yet, or the Gotham Gazette sign, which will be going on the front of the build. And this is the next area of Gotham City that we're going to be working on. So we have the Monarch Theatre, then Crime Alley, and I want to put a building that expands this area just here. It's going to be removable, so first things first, I'll make a plate that covers that area, and then I can work on the build at my desk. So without further ado, let's make that plate up and see what we can come up with. And here is the start of the ground floor, and I think I'm going to be changing a few bits up on here. Not 100% happy with it, and I think we can do better, so we're going to just experiment a little bit more. You'd have seen during the time lapse there was a door down this end which led to the stairs. I've now tucked it around the side, so I think that will look better. And I just want to have a few more sections of plain wall along this side, just as there's a few things I might put on here which I think will require that wall space behind it. Now this section just here, I'm not sure whether I'm going to make this a jeweller's or a cafe, one or the other, and the opposite will be on that end just there. But I'm thinking about doing away with the doorway here and actually putting in one of the corner doors. I think that will just enable me to shrink the size of the build, and then I'll be able to have the plain wall section as I wish to do so. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make those amendments and I'll check back in once I've done so. And there are the revisions to the building, and much happier with it now. It just feels like there's not so much going on along this wall, which is what I was after. And I've got the chunk of wall on both ends there where I can now put stuff up against it without any problems, which was one of the problems, as I mentioned before, with the previous style. And again here, once I've put some sort of tile up on the headlight bricks here, again I think that's just going to give it what it needs. Got the studs here as well, which again are so I can just put some more details on here. But all in all, really pleased with how this is all coming together now. Now I'm going to move this over to the city and see how it looks. And here is the building in place, and yeah, I think I'm capturing the look that I'm after with this build. And I think there's not much more I really need to be doing with this. I want to get a lot of height on that building, and then I'll be having something that comes over the road, some pipes and a couple of other structures which I've seen in the Batman films, which I think look really good. So that's going to work out well. The only thing I am wondering is whether I need 2 studs of brickwork to the side of the window as opposed to 1. However, due to the way I've built this, I don't think it's going to be possible in the style that I've done so unless I extend the whole building by 1 stud. The pavement, I just need to put another 2 studs worth of tiles down there, and that's just to keep it consistent with the other side just down there. And as we come around here, we've got the crime alley, and it's starting to get dark and dingy down there, which is exactly what we're after. There will be fire escapes coming out of the back of the building, which again is just going to add all the more detail, but it's one of those things I need to get all the fire escape pieces in at a later stage. But yeah, there it is, the start of the next building to go in Gotham City. Anyway, that's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham City and Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.